Welcome back, deep divers. Sometimes the shortest things pack the biggest punch.
That's for sure. Like a really spicy chili pepper or a perfectly crafted haiku.
Right. And today's deep dive proves that point, because we're tackling a poem that's tiny but mighty. It's I'm Nobody, Who Are You? By Emily Dickinson.
Dickenson. Now, there's a poet who wasn't afraid to color outside the lines.
Definitely. Always questioning the status quo, turning expectations upside down. And in this poem, she's looking at this whole idea of fame and anonymity and asking, what if being a nobody is actually kind of cool?
Yeah, it's like she's flipping the script on us, making us rethink what we value.
Exactly. So to kick things off, let's hear the poem itself. I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. They'd advertise. How dreary to be somebody. How public like a frog to tell one's name the livelong June to an admiring bog.
Wow, see, even just hearing it out loud, you get that sense of mischief, like a shared secret.
Right. And that use of I and you, it's like Dickinson is pulling us in, making it personal.
Like we're in on some kind of inside joke. And that first stanza, she just throws it out there like a challenge. I'm nobody. But then, are you? It's an invitation.
It's almost like she's saying, hey, join my club, the Nobody Club. What do you think is so appealing about this idea of being a nobody, according to Dickinson?
Well, in a way, it's like a rebellion. And to think about it, we're always being told to stand out, to make a name for ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. Build your brand, get those followers, that whole thing.
Right. But Dickinson is saying, what if we reject that? What if true freedom is about not needing all that attention and validation?
And she even hints at what happens if you don't play along. Don't tell.
Yeah.
They'd advertise.
Exactly. There's this unspoken pressure, this they, who want to keep everyone striving for recognition, even if it means sacrificing something real.
And then she hits us with that contrast right there in the second stanza. Being nobody versus being somebody.
And it's not subtle either. How dreary to be somebody. Like she's really laying it on thick.
She doesn't hold back. And then there's that image of the frog. How public like a frog? What do you make of that?
Well, you have to admit it's kind of a funny image. This frog croaking its name all day long, just desperate for attention.
Totally. But Dickinson uses the frog to represent something bigger, right? This need to be public, to constantly seek approval.
Yeah, it makes you think about how much of that is going on today, especially with social media. Are we all just kind of croaking away, hoping for likes and follows?
It's like we're all living in that admiring bog.
Who wants to be stuck in a bog anyway?
Seriously. So, thinking about this poem today, it's like Dickinson was way ahead of her time. Like, she saw the downsides of our obsession with fame before it even really took off.
Definitely. And it's not just about the pressure to be known. Think about what happens when people actually achieve that kind of fame.
Yeah, the loss of privacy, the constant scrutiny, the pressure to always be on.
Right. All those things can be really damaging. And it makes you wonder, is fame really worth it?
It's a tough question, and Dickinson doesn't really offer a clear answer. But the poem definitely makes you think about it, Like, what choices are we making? What's the cost?
And that leads to a question for all you deep divers out there. In a world that's all about putting yourself out there, is it even possible to choose to be a nobody anymore? What would that even look like?
It's a really interesting question to consider. Maybe something to journal about or even just think about as you go about your day.
It might change your perspective on things.
Well, that's what we're all about here on The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us as we explored this amazing poem by Emily Dickinson. We hope it sparks some new ideas and maybe even a little bit of healthy rebellion in all of you.
Yeah, go out there and be a nobody.
Or maybe just think twice before you croak your name to the bog.
You got it.
See you next time.
Bye.